Not many people remember. Oh, I can't say not many people. I want to say a lot of Bulls fans, and I'm talking to the true Bulls fans, remember the reports that were starting to surface about Tom Thibodeau's future. You realize those have calmed down now, right? You also realize the Bulls have, and it was proven last night, and it's going to continue to be proven, the Bulls have the deepest team in the league, period. It was proven last night, okay? Here is the point. Here's one of the biggest points that I wanted to make. And I've made this point before, and people just don't want to listen. If you really want to know your team, read beyond the headlines, okay? I mean, watch them, pay attention to them, look at trends, look at consistency. The Bulls have consistently won with Tom Thibodeau, all right? I made this statement before, and I will make it again. Were it not for two lackluster performances at the end of the season last year, they would have 3 50-win seasons in his 4 years. Not to mention the fact that undermanned, they survived a 7-game war with Brooklyn 2 years ago. A series that people thought Brooklyn was just going to walk all over the Bulls until the Bulls showed up and said, you know what, y'all, we'll prove you wrong. They're proving people wrong again, and nobody wants to bleeping listen. Nobody wants to bleeping care, okay? This is what's getting on my nerves. You want to pin everything, positive or negative, on one person, i.e. Derrick Rose. That's the wrong thing to do because the Bulls win and lose as a team. Got that? They proved it last night when they spanked the Clippers. I was talking with my friend Reggie Marshall, who believed, and I'm starting to believe also, that the Clippers would be the toughest opponent on this road trip. There may be a tougher opponent like Portland, like Sacramento. We got to go to Brooklyn. We got to go to Boston. You know, the Western Conference is loaded. We've already discussed that. The Western Conference is absolutely bleeping loaded. When you have teams like Memphis, like Portland, like Golden State, San Antonio, you know, and I read a post on Facebook that said San Antonio's right where they are at 5-4. How do you know that? San Antonio just may have everybody right where they want them. Don't you get it? How many times have we seen before the Spurs seem like they are out of contention and then all of a sudden one good run and they're right where they needed and deserved to be? We got to go to Sacramento Thursday, and Sacramento's no slouch at 6-4. Then we see the Portland Trailblazers on Friday, and Portland has always given us fits in Portland. Then we go to Utah, then Denver, and I hate Denver for the simplest of reasons that the last time I saw the Bulls play Denver in Denver, they kind of spanked us. But there are at least 1, 2, 3. I'm looking at this now. There's 6 games left on this road trip. This is the circus trip. It's always 7 games. I told my buddy Reggie that 4 would be a good trip for us. The first thing out of his mouth, and I loved him for this, hell, let's get all 7. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. Why can't we get all 7? which means the Bulls are going to have to play. They have to continue playing as a team. They must continue playing as a team. They must continue the Thibodeau era that has been there since day one, playing as a team, playing hard, getting in your face defense. You understand that? The Bulls get in your face defensively. They did last night to the tune of a 31-point third quarter. The Clips led this game by 10. They were threatening to run away with it, but it did not happen. It did not happen. Why didn't it happen? Because the Bulls, after they were down 46-34, scored 5 quick points and turned a 12-point deficit into a 2-point deficit at halftime. The schedule benefits the Bulls. The only problem on this road trip that I see, and I don't even count Sacramento, is the Portland Trail Blazers. They are one of the biggest surprises in the West right now at 8-3. But I believe in what Reggie says. Why the hell can't we get all 7 on the road trip? But we got to play one game at a time, and our next one is Thursday in Sacktown in Northern California against the Kings, and then we zip up the coast to Portland to play the Trailblazers. Which brings me to this question before we go to a break, and I think this is the right question. Do y'all think they can get all 7? Let me know your thoughts. Facebook.com/ArenaSportsNet. And let me know your thoughts by tweeting us at ArenaSportsNet. Do you think the Bulls can get all 7 on this road trip? I think they can. I said 4-3 would be a great trip. 5-2, 6-1, possibly 7-0. Neither one is out of the realm of possibility. But we can't let one of these teams that have losing records, Utah, Denver, Boston, Brooklyn. Boston already tripped us at home. Can't let any of these teams with a losing record trip us up on the road trip. I'm going to go ahead and start the campaign right now. I say we get all 7. Thank you, Reggie, for putting that thought in my head. I think the Bulls can get all 7 on this road trip. I hear music, so I got to take a break. Pause for a break. When we come back, a little more football talk. And I'm going to piss a couple friends off. Snowman in the Morning comes back next. We are presented by Sowers Ford. I'll be back.
For some, the American dream is a comfortable home with a brand new car. For most in this economy, it's been reduced to a 2-bedroom apartment with a vehicle well past its prime. Rest assured, General Insurance Services is ready to protect both versions of that dream. With many carriers to choose from, insurance for your home, car, or apartment is just a phone call away. Let our local independent insurance agents show you how. General Insurance Services in Michigan City, 800-766-4478.
Have you heard the good news about a company that started 4 years ago and worked at a relentless pace based entirely upon one simple premise? Have you heard the good news about a place you can go to enjoy positive, community-oriented information about the town, city, or region that you live in and the people involved? Have you heard the good news that you yourself can share stories about this same theme to others in your community? That place is LaPorteCountyLife.com. At LaPorteCountyLife.com, you can celebrate a company that had a crazy dream based on a belief that positive breeds positive and that people want to read, hear, and watch stuff about good people. At LaPorteCountyLife.com, you can go to a place to enjoy positive, community-oriented information about the town, city, or region that you live in and the people involved. Want to see more? Want to read more? Want to hear more? Then go to LaPorteCountyLife.com. Have you heard the good news? I'll give away a prize if anyone can tell me the video game where this song is from. If you think you know the answer, tweet your answer to @ArenaSportsNet. Now watch, somebody gets it on the first try. Somebody in the Morning, presented by Sowers Ford of Michigan City. This portion presented by LaPorteCountyLife.com. At LaPorte County Life, we always ask you, have you heard the good news? Man, having a good time here on SITM. I want to thank the fans that have tuned us in. Want to thank you for hanging with us as well. We're trying to get somewhat of a perfect format going. But oh, Lordy. Let's talk a little NFL, shall we? Now, y'all know I got a crazy friend in Seattle that is absolutely in love with her Seattle Seahawks. This same woman, and I hope she knows I'm kidding around when I say this, when the Seahawks beat my 49ers for the NFC Championship in what I called one hell of an NFC Championship game, she texted me and said, simply, you were saying about those whiners? That was war. She and I went back and forth for the next 2 weeks leading up to the Super Bowl. We were being playful with each other. She said, you can never talk mess, and that's not the word she used, but I can't use the word I want to use. She said, you cannot talk about my Seahawks again. I said, why not? She says, because they are good. I said, my 49ers are good too. She says, yeah, but we beat them. Yeah, this is true in that nut house in Seattle. And since then, I have not said a bad word about the Seahawks until now. What the hell were you thinking? Jamal Charles did what Marshawn Lynch wished he could do. Oh, she's going to cuss me out for this, but I'm going to take this joke and run with it. Seattle and Frisco both now 6-4, trailing Arizona by 3 games, and the only team that can catch Arizona is going to be San Francisco. She just sent me a message. Don't you start with me this morning. Well, I'm just getting started. I have never seen a Seahawks team under Pete Carroll look this pedestrian. I'm doing this to joke around with a friend so I can get her riled up a little bit because we're going to whoop their asses on Thanksgiving night in Santa Clara. Oh, she's not going to like me for this. But be that as it may, Seattle's in trouble. And now I'm being totally serious. Seattle's in trouble. Their running game has disappeared. The elusiveness of Russell Wilson has disappeared for the time being, and their defense is being exposed, i.e. Jamal Charles. If there's a game for Seattle to get back into the NFC West race, it is a week from Thursday, Thanksgiving night, after you've eaten all the turkey you can eat, stuffed yourself with dressing and cranberry sauce, sit in front of the TV, and watch Colin Kaepernick put it on the Seahawks. I think I made her choke because her messages to me are getting even more scary. She just sent me a message now saying, how dare you break your promise and talk about my Seahawks? Honey, I never made a promise not to talk about the Hawks, okay? I don't know what you were thinking, but I never made that promise. Like I said, I'm doing this to be playful, but y'all know that's going to be a hell of a game in Santa Clara at Levi's Stadium. That's Thanksgiving night. Seahawks and 49ers, and I will make this point. I know I'm jumping way ahead of the gun. The Seahawks have not won in San Francisco in 4 years. It's going to be 5 after Thanksgiving night. I'm doing this just to pick. And you know what? There is one name that I can say